It's just absolutely incredible. What a brilliant track. Huge. Daft Punk and Get Lucky across Northern Ireland. This is Downtown. It's Drive Time with Neal McClelland until 7 o'clock tonight. Nile Rodgers on the phone right now. You know, the last time I spoke to you, you said to me on the phone, Neal, we're doing this really cool thing with Daft Punk at the minute. You're going to absolutely love it. It was one of the biggest tracks in the world in the last 20 years.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You're coming back to Belfast, and we just love you so much. Going to be at the Waterfront Hall in Belfast. Sold out already for Tuesday, June the 4th. You've now put in another date, which is going to be Wednesday, June the 5th. Do you know, there's nothing that I can't say about you that hasn't already been said and written down in a million words all over the world. Chic, funk, disco, soul, Sister Sledge, David Bowie, Madonna, Daft Punk, Avicii, Sagala, Disclosure. Oh my goodness, the list goes on. What's next? What's next, Nile Rodgers?
Fun. We're having fun. So we're on a world tour right now with Cher, and it's so funny because I heard that she retired in 2002. What's funny is she just had her 73rd birthday yesterday, and she's going hot as fire. We had the best birthday party for her you could ever imagine. Every night the show is amazing. We sell out every night. It's packed. The two acts together are killer. And we love each other. It's unbelievable, the energy in the room from us old party disco folks. It's amazing. It's just amazing.
The last time we seen you in Northern Ireland, it was a pretty cold Friday night, and I just finished my radio show where I was broadcasting live from the right-hand side from where you were on Downtown Radio, and then I watched Soul to Soul, and then you came on, the whole stage went white, and you just rocked Belfast properly. Every time I see you and Chic on stage, it just seems so effortless.
Yeah, first of all, we love doing this. What we're trying to do, and this may sound a little silly, but we're trying to keep what we feel is a dying art form alive. Live R&B, dance, music, disco, whatever you want to call it. Live people playing it without clicks and machines and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what we do. We think that there's something unique about a completely live performance because your attitude changes based on the crowd. So if you have a crowd one night and it just feels hyper, Le Freak is going to be a little bit hyper. If you look at all of our different performances, sometimes it's at this tempo, sometimes it's a little slower. We have a song that I love that we wrote for Sister Sledge called Thinking of You. Now, Thinking of You, the way we recorded it originally is a wee bit slow. It's everybody, let me tell you about my love. It's that tempo. But when we're gigging and where we have it in the show, even though it's a moment where it feels a little bit slower, we always play it faster than the way we recorded it because it just feels like a jam. It feels great to us. And we just want to keep that style of music alive where you can change the tempo, you can do what you want, you can make a mistake and stop. You just keep going and you just play and jam, and but people still dance to it. That's become important to us, that you don't have to have it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same way every night. We have a set list at our feet, and we count the songs off. We don't know what the hell we're going to play. We just do it.
It's all about the music with us, man.
Listen everywhere in Northern Ireland on crystal clear DAB digital radio, Downtown Radio.
We are in conversation with the incredible legend that is Nile Rodgers at just after 4:20 across Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland's greatest hit station, Downtown Radio.
Every time I see you, you're just on fire. Every single time.
It comes from a love of the music. It comes from the quality of the musicians that I've always had. around me. Certain musicians that have been in my life become, worldwide superstars. They become famous. I have never had a bad band. I don't play with musicians that aren't just the best at what they do. And that's luck. And it's also my ability to choose really great people. And you don't have to know their names. You just have to listen to what they do. When you go to a symphony orchestra, you don't know the people in the symphony orchestra unless you are really committed to that particular symphony. But what you do know is the way that they work together, and they perform like a flock of birds. They don't crash into each other. They fly in perfect formation. And that's what we do. We are a team. We're a unit. I don't know what to say. We are family. I didn't know I was going to say that. I swear to you, I didn't know it. That just slipped out. It felt corny to me, but that's how we feel. I mean, it's a romantic kind of feeling, but that's how it is. Please let me give respect to Northern Ireland, because this was the beginning of Chic's resurgence, if you will. It was way back, a few years ago, where we started doing our first festivals in Ireland and in Northern Ireland, and people started to gravitate towards us, and that was the beginning of people going, wow, we like this kind of music. It's part of our culture. And we were playing, smaller clubs but still festivals, and it just kept going and kept going. And then a couple of years ago, we played in Derry, and we sold out in like 20 minutes or something. I said, holy cow, like, this is nuts. It was a Halloween, and we sold out in no time at all. I said, well, either that's scalpers or people really like our music, because we're still amazed when people love our music. I'm still shocked, because I just wanted to get a hit or two. I had no idea that at my age I'd still be going strong and writing records with Sagala and writing records with, really cool young acts.
But that's why you are who you are, because you're Nile Rodgers and you're the hit maker.
And I love music, and I'm not an age chauvinist, and I just like music, and I like learning.
I know we don't have much time, and I, as always, would love to speak to you forever, because I think you're just one of these people that you could just talk to continually. Tell us just very, very quickly the folklore that Grace Jones invited you and Bernard to the side of Studio 54. You went to the door, they said no, and you went to Bernard's apartment and started jamming. Tell us that story very quickly.
You got it almost right. So what happened was, we were journeymen. This was very early in our careers. We had only done one album, and we had this really cool song on it called Everybody Dance. And Grace Jones thought it was like genius record. So she says, darling, I want to meet those guys who wrote Everybody Dance, so maybe they could produce my next record. So we knocked on the back door and we went, hello, we are personal friends of Miss Grace Jones. Like, her voice, I don't know if you know Grace's voice, but it's like a cross between Bela Lugosi, Bob Marley and Marlena Dietrich. You can't quite figure it out, right? He was like, hello, we are personal friends of Miss Grace Jones. And if you want to come in, she put us on the guest list. And the guy slammed the door in our faces and said, and we said, no. And we were kicking the door because we had to be louder than the music inside. Finally, he opened the door again, and he said, didn't I tell you that? So we went around the corner to which is where I live, only 1.5 blocks away from the back door of Studio 54, which was 53rd Street, but I lived on 52nd Street. We passed the liquor store. We bought 2 bottles of champagne, Dom Perignon, which we used to call rock and roll mouthwash. We bought 2 bottles of rock and roll mouthwash, went to my apartment, and started singing the most dominant words that were in our heads, which was that we started going, wow. Studio 54. Off, doom. And then my partner Bernard looked at me and said, hey, my man, you know this is happening. And this was at least 2 years before hip-hop. So we couldn't get profanity in a pop song. Now it's commonplace, but...
Wow.
But then at the time, we couldn't, so we changed it to Freak Out. And it was amazing, because there was a dance at the time called The Freak. And we based it on the dance that everybody was doing, even though we didn't know how to do the dance.
That's just absolutely incredible. Listen, Nile, I really would love to talk to you forever and ever and ever. Nile Rodgers and Chic at the Waterfront Hall in Belfast. Tuesday's already sold out. Wednesday, June the 5th. It's a brand new show date. If you ain't seen Nile Rodgers and Chic rocking the stage, you ain't lived. You gotta get there. You gotta have Nile Rodgers and a little bit of disco, a little bit of soul, a little bit of funk, and a little bit of dance music in your life for one night. Wow, Nile, it has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate it.
One sentence very quickly. What would you like to say to the people of Northern Ireland right now?
Let's sell out this second show so we can have another night of madness. We've just increased our set list. So what you're going to hear, you have not heard us play before. We've added, I just can't tell you. I want it to be a surprise. You won't believe it. We were doing it last night, setting it up, and we were in the bed laughing, saying, "Are you kidding? We can't even follow ourselves now. There's so many hit records. We just pulled every arrow out of our quiver and just put it into the show."
Thank you so much, Niall. I really appreciate having a chat with you. It's one of the big highlights of my life and my broadcasting career.
Thank you, my man. Please come backstage and then come up on stage with us for good times.
I would love to.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
The home of great music, Downtown Radio.